Hey guys, how's it going? I just had my garage put up, and when I was doing this, I had a ton of questions about how to get it done and how much it was gonna cost. So in today's video, I'm gonna walk around the garage, show you how much I paid for it. We're gonna do a full cost breakdown, and I'm gonna let you know how much it's gonna cost you in late 2023, early 2024, how much a garage will cost. So we're gonna start with just a walk around, and then from there, I'll do a cost breakdown, and then I'll go over some things I wish I changed. Okay, so for starters, this is a 30 by 30 building. I have two 10-foot doors, 10 by 10. I have a man door on the side, and I have a window on each side. This is the cheapest building I can get. I am fine doing things by myself, so I opted for the cheapest build to get it done and permitted the right way, and then anything I wanted to add, I could just do after the fact. I decided to go with 12-foot walls because I plan on having a lift. And we're just gonna do a quick walk around. They did a great job. They did it in about 6 hours, which is crazy to me. They actually trimmed any trees near. I told them to leave the trees, just trimmed them right there. I'll burn them later, but they actually trimmed the trees for me. Just be careful when you're buying a building like this. Make sure you have color match screws. If you do not, it'll make your building look like crap. So that is the only thing I opted for, but the rest of it is as cheap as it gets, guys. I'm just gonna fix everything later, and you know, I can do a lot of stuff myself. I don't have to pay someone for that, but I plan on using this building for making my property value go up and getting out of mortgage insurance, so I had to have it done the right way. So as we're walking in, as I said, it's a 30 by 30, and you know, you get almost 99% of that space because it's just, I think, 2¼ inch metal. So when you do a block style, you're eating in almost 8 inches around the whole thing if you do block. But as you can tell, if you look over there, there's my riding lawnmower. It takes up no space at all. And like I said, once you're in here, you really get a feel for how tall it is. I can have a lift on this side and on that side. And me being 6'1", the worst thing ever is when you get under a car in a car lift and it's like 2 inches too short. So now I can lift the car all the way up. It's gonna be awesome. Those are two 8-foot workbenches. And man, you could still put a toolbox next to it and we're not even near the door. That's some concrete. I plan on trying to dry pour the pad out there. So if you're interested in that, you know, subscribe, stay around, and we'll see how the dry pour goes. So my plan for this is, you know, little toolbox there that like you're just grabbing stuff out of. And then big toolbox in the back for like when you're actually tearing an engine apart and stuff. And that'll just be a quick little workbench right there. Grab tools out, you know, things for the house, whatever. But I'm not a picky person, guys. If anybody knows me, I don't care. I don't know why they didn't center the window. I was at work when my dad signed off on it. I really wish they centered the window. That's the only thing that kind of bugs me. I get they didn't want to cut another piece out and move it in, but I don't know if that's there for a specific reason or not, but that is the only thing about this building I would change. Everything else is perfect. It's going to do really good for me. So we're just going to get right into the cost breakdown in case that's all you care about. And then we'll get into some things I wish I changed. All right, guys, let's get into the cost breakdown because I know that's all you guys care about. I have my little cheat sheet here on cardboard, of course. So anytime you're doing something, permit costs. Okay, so it started with $350 for permitting. And then the next stage was I paid 10% for the building to lock in the fee. That way prices didn't fluctuate. I don't mind paying a little extra, but I hate hidden costs, okay? So I paid to lock it in. So the 10% down. Then on top of that, I had a lady coordinate all this. When the concrete's getting here, when the inspections are getting here. I just wanted to be hands off. This is the only thing in my life that I paid for and I didn't have to build myself, so I wanted to just go through with that. So 10% down plus paying her was $3,200, okay? The next thing, I don't know if you could tell by the walk around, but I have a big slope in my yard. I thought they could just pull from the high side of my yard, but something with the engineer and the elevation of the building, I had to bring in 8 dump trucks at $200 a pop of dirt. And that came out to $1,600. If your ground's pretty flat and they could work with what's there, you may only need 2, 3 tandems. I don't know, but for me it was 8, and they built it up a lot. So if you have a slope, you're looking at almost $2,000. And if your ground's flat, maybe just a tandem or two, so $400, $600, whatever's in your area. The next thing is tractor work, $450 for him to move the dirt around and get it all done. I had cheaper quotes, but the guy that did the tractor work for $450 was the guy doing the concrete work. So it was like $100 difference, and it was better that the guy doing the concrete did the dirt work. It just made sense. So the next thing is concrete, but in between those two, you're gonna have inspections. The inspection was free, but they failed me because my permit packet fell off the tree and was like 20 feet away. So I had to pay $45 to have him come back out. Luckily in my area, they do like next day inspections, so it wasn't bad. So the concrete cost, that's the big one. For a 30 by 30, 5 inches deep, rebar, 5,000 PSI. He also put in 2 footers for where I'm gonna have the lift. That was $7,400. That was good. When I looked at doing it myself, it wasn't far off of that, and it was a ton of labor. So $7,400, I don't know how he really made money on that. But anyway, so the $450 for him, $7,400 went to him. The one thing I liked about going this route is you paid as you went. So this whole process took about 9 months. So I didn't have the whole big amount come out of my account at once. I could pay $1,600 here, $3,200 there, and it actually made the process a little better that it got stretched out pretty long. The next thing is the building. That was $12,900. Now, again, 30 by 30, 12-foot walls. I don't know what the pitch is, but my buddy has a similar building, and he has an 8-foot loft, and you could still walk around up top on the 8-foot loft. So I'm not sure what the pitch is, but 12-foot walls, I mean, I could put a lift anywhere in here I want. So the grand total of that comes to $25,900. Again, I went bare basic, guys. 2 windows, the man door. I didn't pay for anything except for the color match screws because I didn't feel like painting the building after. So if you want a building in Florida, 2023, early 2024, now that prices from COVID have kind of stabilized, you're looking at about $26,000. A couple things I had to do differently. I had to have my survey redone for $800. And then I had to pay an engineer for watershed distribution for $800. Pretty much, if you're over an acre, you don't have to do that stuff. I am 0.99 of an acre, so they made me do it. And that's to make sure when you put this huge building up, you're not gonna run water into your neighbor's house or their yard and wash it out. I get all that. I was 0.1 off a full acre, so that could have saved me about $1,600, but that's the full cost breakdown. I went with Carports Anywhere. Again, they were the cheapest guys. I can do 90% of this myself. The only reason I didn't do this myself is because I'm permitting it, so I can use this to get out of mortgage insurance on my house. And I wanted it done right and by other people. And this is the one thing in my life I didn't build, so I was excited to step back and watch somebody else do something for a change. So that's the reason I went with that. Some things I would change. Okay, if you're in your forever home, you don't plan on selling it, permitting is not that big of a deal. I would recommend getting the building permitted and set on footers and then gravel or dirt underneath. And then you can go by after and do the concrete yourself and save, $2,000 or $3,000. I hate concrete work, guys, so that's why I didn't do it. But you could save a ton of money doing it like that, and then you get to use the garage. You could park your lawnmower, your tractor, your car in there, even though you can't work on it, because it's not gonna have concrete. Or you can go the asphalt route. There's a couple ways that I would change. I don't think I'll be in this house for, longer than 10 years. This isn't my final shop. So that's why I went with just having it all done by permitting. That way I get the most bang for my value when I reappraise my house. But if you're in your forever home, I would definitely recommend having the building put up on footers, and then you can get small 2-3 yard dumps from Cahill. They'll come in and you can float a section every weekend and save a lot of money that way. So that's the cost breakdown. If you guys have any questions, I'll try and reply to everything in the comments. But that is what it cost me for a 30 by 30 by 12 final quarter of 2023. Thank you, guys.